Police issued an Amber Alert for an 8-year-old boy. He was abducted from his home near El Dorado, Texas.
It's time. You ready?
Yeah.
Please call 911 with any information. We will keep you updated as we receive
Okay.
more.
What do you know about Alton Meyer?
I wouldn't know where to start.
You would have fits.
Things would break. It was like a feeling.
Kind of feeling.
We need to know where he is. You'll have no clue what you're dealing with, do you?
They think you're a weapon. And the ranch thinks you're their savior.
Dad, it's okay.
Movie month. It is my 4th annual movie month. I'll watch 30 movies that I've never seen in 30 days.
Oh, good morning, America. You know, last year, when I did movie month, I feel like there were a few times where I just went for a walk and talked about the movie of the day. I don't feel like I've done it as much this year, or at least not early in the morning. Right now it's 8:15. I'm doing a quick walk before I start my work day, and I've already watched today's movie. I got up at like 6. You know, my dog wakes me up. I have time to kill. My wife's on summer vacation now, so she's not getting ready in the morning, so very quiet, very peaceful, perfect timing to watch a movie. And today, finally, I watched a movie that has been on my radar for quite some time, a movie that a coworker recommended to me, and I can tell her, finally, I've watched it. Today, I watched the 2016 sci-fi drama Midnight Special. Very small movie. I wonder how many of you actually are aware of it. It's a small movie kind of starring Michael Shannon, and you'll be like, who, what, where, what, when? You would know him, Michael Shannon, as he was on Boardwalk Empire. He kind of played the DEA agent, I believe. And if you are a comic book fan, he was Zod in the Man of Steel, and his corpse was in Batman v Superman. So I've seen him play, you know, small in small dramas. I've seen him play big in big science fiction. And in this, he's in a small science fiction, and it's really, when I say sci-fi, I mean, that is the genre, but this is such a small, dramatic, acted movie. It's like things are happening, story's progressing. There's some really cool moments where there's a moment where I actually like gasped. I went, oh my God. But it's all rooted in small performances, a small cast, basically. The story picks up, or, you know, just to go into it a bit. I don't want to spoil too much. I will spoil at the end, probably, and I'll give you a warning. But it's Michael Shannon. We open up where a boy is missing. A boy has been taken, an Amber Alert. There's no photo of this boy, but authorities have been alerted that he's been seen with this man, and they show Michael Shannon. And Michael Shannon's driving with Joel Edgerton, another guy that I recognize, and I know I've seen him in things. I just don't know what I've seen him in. You know, like he was in Star Wars, one of the Star Wars movies, the old ones. The new ones, you know, we'll get to that. So they're driving along, and they have a kid in the back seat. And you don't know if they kidnapped this kid. You don't know what's going on. And kind of we come to learn that he's been taken from a ranch or which seems to be like a religious cult. And that explained to me why there were no photos of him, because this looked like, one of those cults where everyone dresses like Amish people almost, or something like that. Like very long dresses, very low tech. This cult almost worships the boy. They see the boy almost like a prophet. And we come to start to see that his kid has some special abilities. And it's so hard to explain because you don't quite know what his special abilities are. So going into the movie, I thought this kid was like a superhero. I thought he was going to be like, and they show him reading comic books, and I'm thinking, okay, this is like the beginning of something like this kid's going to be like a Superman kind of thing. And it's not really like that. The movie itself is basically the government is aware of this kid because they've picked up some chatter based on sermons. Then the sermons are using numbers and data that the kid gets, but this numbers and these data is like secret coordinates for the government. So it's like, how does this kid get this information? How does this church group get this information? I mean, it all comes to be that basically that I'm walking in the neighborhood, so I gotta say hi to people. I don't know if I'm starting to spoil it, but obviously this kid can sense and read, telecommunications, but this church thinks it means that he's some sort of prophet, and some special apocalypse is going to happen on a special day at a special time. Michael Shannon, we come to find out, is the boy's father. And all he wants to do is get the boy to safety, get the boy someplace, get the boy to his mother. And he finally gets to the mother. At the same time, the church sends out people to try to take him. The government finally ends up with him, but he convinces one of the government people to set him free. Yada, yada, yada. I'm spoiling it now. So I'm going through the whole movie. Look, it was all in the performances. Things I didn't know. I didn't know Adam Driver was in this. Adam Driver, of course, Kylo Ren from the new Star Wars movies. That's what I know him as. I know he's on Girls too, but I've never watched that show. But he plays like the government agent trying to figure everything out. Awesome. He was really good. Kirsten Dunst, I didn't know she was in this. She plays the boy's mother. And, my first instinct right away is, whoa, that can't be the boy's mother. She's way too young to be with Michael Shannon. And, I think of her as always the young girl and the teenage girl. I mean, she's 35, and I'm thinking, okay, 35 is still pretty young to be with Michael Shannon. Michael Shannon's only 42. All right, I'm thinking this guy's like in his 50s. He's 2 years older than me, or maybe not even 2 years older than me. And he looks like a grown man, and sometimes I feel like a man-child. Like I'm waiting for, adult features to come into my face. And I realize that's probably already happened. It's just they're called wrinkles and gray hair. But, he looks like a man. And some of us don't, I guess, just keep our boyish good looks. But anyway, Kirsten Dunst plays the mother, and we never quite learn what the boy's powers are. We just are shown them, and we get an idea that he can see things, he can sense things, he can communicate with people, he can show people things. And I'm going to spoil it. If you don't want to know the big secret, if you don't want to know the way it ends, stop listening now. You already downloaded it. You already did your work. So you can stop now. But if you do stop, at least go to fansnotexperts.com, click around, look at some of the things there. Check out some of the other movies I've done. Okay, here comes the spoiler. That is a gigantic bird. Okay. What is that? Is that a hawk? Oh, it's just a crow. Okay. So the kid gets this, the kid finally realizes, so part of the movie is he can't go out in the sunlight. It's too much for him. His powers kind of get overloaded. And he realizes at one point, Dad, I got to go out in the sun. Like, this kid, his performance is so great. You know, he a lot of things are just with like facial expressions, but even like his delivery, the way he talks, really, really good. He finally says to his dad, I need to go into the sun. His father takes him outside, thinking it's too much for you, but he's like, no, it'll be fine. And the kid's like all knowing, and the father is like, okay, boy. He didn't say that. Brings him out into the sun, and the sun is rising. And the way they shoot the sun rising, it almost feels like, you're like, oh my God, here it comes. And that's something we take for granted. Like, the sun rises every day. I'm looking up at the sun right now. Ooh, I shouldn't have done that. Ooh. And just the way it was like positioned in this movie, we're like, oh my God, there's the sun. And this kid's power is going to overload, and this giant like dome this like shoots out from him, and it encases him in this big space in this field. And then boom, it's gone. You're like, what the hell was that? So next thing you know, he shows up in the middle of the day to his mother, and they're like, what happened? And he said, I know what I am now. I know who I am now. And again, I'm spoiling it. There are people like me who live above us, almost like they made it seem like here's our world and there's another world right on top of us. Not aliens, but like another dimension. And I got to tell you, they talked about it, and I thought, okay, that was interesting. And I want to say I forgot about it, but it was in the back of my mind. And the way this movie's small. I expected there to be a reference to this other world, and maybe that's where he'll end up. So, as if you've seen it, I'm spoiling it. He ends up being kidnapped. He ends up by the government. He communicates with Adam Driver, gets him out. Adam Driver helps him escape. And while the government is trying to chase them back down, he goes with his mother into this field because there's a special location that he needs to get to. And it seems like to me that it's almost like a door, maybe to another dimension. So I'm thinking, okay, some light will flash, he'll be like, goodbye, Ma, and he'll go off with his people. Well, instead of that, he has this major power surge, and that's the dome that happened before. Now, we see like a map. It almost backs up where we could see half the Gulf Coast and more so. And this dome goes up humongous over all this. And I'm like, whoa, what's that? And then Kirsten Dunst looks up, and we see it. We see all of it. The people who live amongst us, this other dimension. We see humongous construction, like these crazy futuristic alien-looking buildings, ecosystems, and then all of a sudden we start seeing the people, and they're all made of basically of light, which is what this kid's been like shooting off for most of the movie. Like his eyes light up. Later we see his hands light up. And we realize that he's one of these people, or he's half of these people. Like he's half of one of these people. I don't know what he is, but what I love is that not only he sees it, but the government starts seeing it. Not only the government sees it, but people all over this part of the country are seeing it. And people looking up. Cities are seeing these constructions. People, just in the town. Just imagine like you're outside. You look up and you see these humongous constructions that weren't there, 5 seconds ago. And then the people come down. They greet the boy. They surround the boy, and the dome goes away. All the construction, all the constructs go away, and the boy's gone. Boom. And Kirsten Dunst realizes she just lost her son, and she smiles because she knows he's in a better place. She ends up staying on the run. We see her changing her hair. Michael Shannon and the other guy ended up getting caught by the government. And Joel Edgerton's like, look, you saw what I saw. I'm not making this stuff up. Everybody saw it. And Michael Shannon, we just kind of see him looking at the sun, thinking about his boy. But they did one cool little thing right at the end. They flashed over, like his eyes lit up a little bit, as if he's one of them too. Something about that, like he's part of them, or the sun did something. I don't know exactly what it was. To me, I took it as, maybe he'll get back. He's one of them. That's what I got it from. And that was the movie. I spoiled it. But that, when they looked up and all of a sudden there was these humongous pillars of like, just these gigantic alien structures, I went, oh my God. Because I love when things are bigger than you think they're going to be. Like I used to love like Close Encounters and getting inside the alien ship. Just things where the world expands and it's like, oh my God, this is bigger than you think. I love that kind of stuff. And that's what this kind of did that for me. Oh, excuse me. It's still early. So Midnight Special. Awesome. Now, just to talk a little bit about the director, Jeff Nichols, writer and director of this movie. I don't know this guy. He wrote and directed Mud with Matthew McConaughey, which I was aware of, but I never saw. And he also did a movie called Take Shelter back in 2011 with Michael Shannon, about a guy who has visions and thinks he needs to make a shelter for his family. So, obviously, I don't know if that, a guy who doing something for his family, if that led Jeff Nichols to making this movie and led Michael Shannon to come back to work with this guy. Obviously, they like working together. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back and read the trivia on IMDb, because that's what I like to do. But for me, for you today, that's it, my friends. We are done. Can you believe it? Oh, excuse me. Whew. Starting to feel the burn. 27 movies, 27 days. I look back at some of the early movies and I'm like, that was this year? That feels like so long ago. And it's only been 27 days since everything started. There's only 3 movies left. And I'm still not quite sure what those 3 movies are going to be. That's what I love. I love having a group of movies and deciding this is the one I'm going to watch. Tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow's another movie. And for today, movie month is done. So thank you for listening. You can find me on Twitter at Geek Mentality. Find us on Facebook at Fans Not Experts. The website is fansnotexperts.com. We don't only have Geek Mentality. We have other podcasts too. If you're into wrestling, if you're into Boy Meets World, there's a podcast that almost could have been great, but I don't know. Life gets in the way, and sometimes you realize how much work it is to do a podcast. We have a feature up there called Nickflix, where we almost use it as a punishment. You have to watch a Nicolas Cage Netflix movie and write a review on it. And these are not good movies. There's only a couple of them, and we started using them as punishment during fantasy football. Me and my cousin, whoever loses has to watch a Nickflix movie. So there's not a lot there, but I'm sure there'll be more in the future. And what else do we have on there? I mean, there's, of course, this podcast, Geek Mentality. There's blog posts. It's not just podcasts. There's blog posts from many, many years ago. Going back, it used to be just blog posts. Tried to do sports stuff. I tried to make a sports podcast simply called Fans Not Experts. I think there was one episode. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that again someday. But that's the website. If you could check it out, I would appreciate it. And, of course, anywhere, Instagram, Google, Facebook, Twitter. I almost said Yahoo. Anywhere, just search the hashtag FNE Movie Month. I'm going to finish my movie. I'm going to finish my walk and get to work. Have a great day. And here is my theme song. This is my podcast. I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe, 'cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time, and I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fans Not Experts.